Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pucks and Brews. What episode are we on, guys? Because I completely forgot. Is this 14?
God knows we haven't done this in a month.
That is true. Yeah, our schedules just have not matched up at all. But we're here now. So before we get into the hockey talk, everybody, as always, grab a favorite drink of choice. If it's a brew, it's a brew. Coffee, wine, beer, whiskey, rum, whatever you want. I'm gonna debut a new drink. That's not a brew, but I just got fucking
canned
shit
water
all over the place.
It's a seltzer.
It is a
No,
seltzer. And I just got
Shades
water everywhere.
Shades is going for a CBD seltzer. Is that what that is?
Jeez.
Yeah, wow, that dragged my camera so far out of focus. We are off to a fantastic start. I'm just gonna refocus real quick.
What was you going with, the Woj Bud Light Lime? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's the only thing I left in the house from yesterday.
It's classic.
Yeah,
My
it's a
camera
rough
really
night.
does not want to refocus right now. This is such BS. But boys, let's start off with the Rangers talk since we are Rangers fans before we get into the overall thoughts of the playoffs while my camera takes forever to refocus. Nils Lundkvist signed his entry-level contract, highly touted defensive prospect. This is pissing me off so badly. This is
It's fine.
pissing me off
You
so
don't have
badly.
you don't have the beard anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Yeah, so anyway, we signed our arguably best defensive prospect that was currently in the pipeline. And, well, I mean, we're going to have a lot of Rangers talk to discuss in the near future. Hey, there's the camera. And in the meantime, you know, we got the expansion draft and all that stuff. But until we get closer to it, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, for lack of a better saying. But yeah, here's the new drink.
What is it?
It is mango flavored seltzer water.
Yeah, so it's non-alcoholic.
No, non-alcoholic. It is pretty damn tasty though. So if you guys get a chance, good hemp fizz. You know, we're not
Oh,
sponsored.
dude, you're getting high. That's hemp. That's weed, dude.
All right,
Calling
so
the cops.
I guess I'm getting. Well, I mean, weed is legal in New York City now, so.
That's true. Shades is getting off to a hot start. He doesn't care anymore.
Not in my America. All right.
Anyway, so it wouldn't be a true Stanley Cup playoffs without the Toronto Maple Leafs choking in some way, shape, or form. It wouldn't be a Stanley Cup playoffs without me shaving, because I've had to shave or trim the beard at least at some point throughout the playoffs these last couple of years, which is bullshit. I gotta time my I gotta time my facial hair routine better. But anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on the NHL playoffs so far? Brendan, you're itching to say something, so go for it.
I mean, dude, first of all, all the games have been awesome, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to lie, in the first round, it was pretty hard to watch the actual Toronto series just because there was no fans until the very end of that series. And it was difficult watching like the Carolina and Nashville series, which I thought was going to be the worst series actually out of the first round. And I actually thought it was one of my personal favorites just because the crowds were buzzing. But Shades, I mean, wow. Toronto, dude. Just, I don't even know what else to say. It's like, is Toronto that bad, or is Montreal like, do we underestimate them again as a team going into the playoffs? Because I didn't expect them to be, I mean, granted, they lost to Philly last year, but I thought they gave them a better series than I thought they were going to give them, to be honest. But yeah.
Well, Woj's dog must be barking like crazy right now because he just put himself on mute.
He just like walked over. He's just like staring at me now.
Dude, I'm telling you, at some point during this episode, I'm going to be in the middle of saying something and your dog is just going to start barking like crazy and I'm going to get offended.
What do you think taught him? Me. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Toronto's too good to be actually good. It's like my whole theory. I don't know if that means anything. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. But
I like how you worded it, though.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. They're just too good.
I mean, I honestly thought that even with Tavares out, like I thought they had enough veteran guys like Thornton, and I don't know, I thought they were going to be able to step up and, you know, take them down, considering I mean, Tavares went down in game 1 and, you know, and they lost that game. And the fact that they won 3 games without him showed that they could have won that series. But I mean, you know, I think everybody's been saying it's like But when your best guys don't show up, like Matthews and Marner, then it's not good. I mean, also credit though to Montreal, because I mean to shut them down isn't easy either.
Well, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of things about what went wrong with the Maple Leafs, what should they do going in the offseason, like contract-wise and stuff. It's just like nobody on that team was playing like they were closing out a series. Arguably, except I think it was either game
Spezza.
Nylander.
Yeah, Nylander.
Yeah, those were like the only two guys. But other than it was either game 5 or game 6 overtime. I don't remember which one, when they were badly outplaying Montreal. The shots were like 13-2 in the overtime alone, and Montreal came away with the win. Like, that was the soul crusher for Toronto. And well, yeah. Just
one point I want to bring up, Shades, too. I thought it was interesting that I know that Campbell really played for them the majority of the season, but Anderson was healthy, like they just weren't playing him. Like,
I thought he was injured most of the season.
No, I didn't mean during the season. I meant for the playoffs. Like, was he available to play, or did they just choose to go with Campbell? I mean, if I was them after, like, once they made that series 3-2, maybe I would have considered changing up the goaltending just a little bit. I mean, considering that Campbell didn't look too amazing in that entire series. I mean, you have to go with him considering how well he played for them during the regular season, but still, I don't know.
Here's my thing. It doesn't look like they're re-signing Anderson, so it probably was the right move.
Fair enough.
Woj, anything?
I know that they rode him last year in the playoffs a lot, or even like the year before. I don't think Freddie Anderson's bad. Was he hurt, or he just did not play? I have no clue. I didn't fucking watch any of those games.
I think they actually just outright chose him. I think they outright chose Campbell over Anderson.
I mean, Campbell was hot this year. He did really well.
I mean, during the regular season, I think Anderson was injured, and for a stretch, that's hence why Campbell was playing in the first place. But I just thought that maybe, it's worth giving it a shot. Yeah. But I mean, Shades, there was a couple other series in that first round, where nobody was surprised how good Colorado played.
Yeah, no. They swept the Blues. That was the Blues were just completely outmatched. That's really all you gotta know about that series. Edmonton completely shit the bed against Winnipeg. Winnipeg swept them. Who else? Like you said, Carolina and Nashville actually ended up being a pretty good series. Washington completely shit the bed against Boston. They lost in 5. To me, that was like, that series was, it wasn't just on one team shit the bed. Boston, in my opinion, exceeded expectations in that series. So, but at the same time, like, Washington just
yeah.
Even though they played really well in game 5, they outshot Boston 41-19. It's just like, damn, like, that team, I think their window is, especially after this year, completely shut.
Talking about the Capitals, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna. Yeah, I think they're done. I mean,
Kuznetsov's got a fucking coke problem. Ovi doesn't know what he wants to do. Tom Wilson, apparently, to everybody else in the league, wants to, he should be in jail.
Well,
their whole team's a mess.
Well, they actually have to re-sign Ovechkin. I think he's a UFA at the end. Yeah. He is a UFA now.
Yeah.
So
it's either he stays here or he goes to Russia. He's not going to play anywhere else.
I don't know.
I don't believe it. I mean, that's what he said.
Like you said, Woj, I honestly can't see him.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, it was somebody driving by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see. It's hard to see Ovechkin signing with another team in the NHL, to be honest. I don't see it either. But
I mean, said the same about Lundkvist. We didn't think he'd sign anywhere else. I mean, did.
Well, I mean, he was kind of forced to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He didn't have an option.
Yeah, he literally did not.
Well, no. I mean, as in, like, oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. I thought you were talking about the fucking heart issue or something like that.
No. He was forced to sign elsewhere because of the buyout. Like, that was.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
There's another car with loud music. Anyway, there were 3 other series. Minnesota took Vegas to 7.
What neighborhood do you live in?
What?
What kind of music is that?
I have no clue, and I don't really care because I'm recording a podcast. But
Oh.
no, Minnesota took Vegas to 7, where me and my buddy Dan were getting like PTSD flashbacks from the past 2 years of Vegas not being able to close out a series. They were able to do so, and Colorado Vegas right now has been insane. Florida put up a
Good fight, man.
Put
That
up
was
a
a good
good
series.
fight against Tampa, but Tampa prevailed in 6. That was a very good dude. Game 1. I just want to put this out there. Like game 1, I think I was able to watch from like the middle of the second period on for the rest of that game. It's as soon as I turned the TV on, it was just like, holy
Yeah, it's
crap.
nuts.
Like,
shit.
holy crap. Fans going nuts, basically full capacity. I'm just like, this is playoff hockey.
Yeah, and dude, the series with Carolina has basically been the same. I would say, it's like it goes to show you though how good Tampa still is. Like, basically, they were just getting to blow out games with the Panthers, like 6-5 games, 5-4, and then transfer to the first couple games in the Carolina series. It's like Carolina held them to 2 goals in the first. I think it was basically the first 3 games. Tampa only scored 2. I mean, until yesterday, but yeah, they're still good. I mean, I want to say that they still have to be, at least in the East, maybe the favorite to make the Cup, right? I mean, it's got to be between them and Boston.
Oh, absolutely. And
I'd still
speaking,
say Tampa.
yeah, and
No, I
speaking
still
of,
think Tampa's number 1. I mean, they have a good.
No, go ahead. My bad.
No,
My bad.
my internet's fucked up. No, but I say in general, I think Tampa is like, them and Boston are both really good, but I think Tampa is by far has like the best like depth all around.
Yeah, and speaking of Boston, it was them against. Actually, no, wait. It was it was. No, I fucked that up. The last series we didn't talk about. Jesus Christ, I'm all
Islanders.
over the place. Yeah, the Islanders and the Penguins, where once again, the Penguins prove that when they're fully healthy, they're not capable of doing a damn thing in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people just thought that Pittsburgh was going to win based off of how well they were playing recently, and the Islanders kind of ended the season shitty. But I don't know. I mean, I think we were on the money. I don't think you took Pittsburgh either, right, Shades? I had the Islanders 6, or
no,
Islanders
I think I
in
did.
7.
I think I did take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I had a feeling the Islanders are going to win that one, just because I don't know. I think that even now, like, I mean, obviously I hate having to pick the Islanders, but I still think I'd take the Islanders over Boston in this second round series. I just think that they can match. That's the thing with them right now, is that their physicality is just on a whole other level. The Islanders, like, they can just hit the entire game. Then that's exactly what they were doing to Pittsburgh. Like, I think in that first game against Pittsburgh, dude, they had like 60 hits or something. It was absolutely insane. They were just hitting everything, and they still are. I mean, that game last night versus Boston was absolutely nuts.
That's been a pretty good series so far. Just,
I hope it goes 7. I don't even care who wins, but
same. And well, Tampa, like you said, I mean, you basically said it. They can win any type of game. 2-1, 1-0, a shootout like last game against Carolina. What was it, 6-4?
yep. After they were down 2 goals, that second period had like 6 goals or 7 goals in it.
I think 6 goals.
Yeah, it was nuts, man.
Oh, it was insane. It was lovely to watch, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, these goalies can't stop anything, and Carolina, it just can't stop giving up odd man rushes every other shift.
I genuinely thought that I really thought that Carolina was going to take that series to 7. And I think if they would have tied it yesterday, it would have been interesting. But yeah, blowing that, I don't know if they can come back from that, dude. Blowing a 2-goal lead in the second period like that.
Well, don't forget, like, they also got in penalty trouble. They took too many just stupid penalties.
No, that's true.
Yeah, can't do that.
No, cannot do that. And let's just gloss over Montreal, Winnipeg, because as you can tell, you two, we're recording did that game even end yet? I don't even know.
No. Montreal's up 3-1.
Yeah, they're gonna end up sweeping them.
Yeah,
dude.
that is a the Canadian division has just turned out to be such a disappointment. No offense to all the Canadian hockey fans. It's just like nobody in the States cares whatsoever about that particular series. What else we got? We also, Colorado, Vegas, like we mentioned earlier. Dude, this series is awesome.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best series, man.
This
it's just
series
so electric.
is just insane.
Woj, what were we gonna say?
No, that series is on steroids. It's nuts. It's fucking every game is good. But I still think Colorado's going to take it. They're going to win that series.
I could see it. I mean, I will say though, I think after the first game, Vegas has kind of been in control. Like even though they lost this game 2 in overtime, like I felt like they controlled most of the play. And then same thing with game 3. I think they started to control a lot of the play. So it's interesting.
But game 3 was all Vegas.
It's just, that's the thing though. Like you can control the freaking game against them, but then, you take one bad penalty and the firepower that they have out there is like, they can score like 3 goals in like 30 seconds. But then on same thing with Vegas though, in a way too, like they score goals in spurts. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's like, dude, especially with Colorado, like once that McKinnon line gets going, like you're basically done. And Vegas has done especially in game 3, they did a real good job of limiting that line. And it just goes to show you, fucking never know what could happen on any given day. And upsets happen all the time in pro sports, especially in the playoffs. But I'm still rooting for Colorado. Brendan, I know you love Vegas. I know you got the Vegas shirt on right now. But Colorado's been my pick to win the Cup this year since before last season even started. So I have to root for them. Woj?
Brendan's a bandwagon Knights fan.
Funny story, I actually did get Brendan a Vegas Golden Knights
coffee cup.
Yeah, coffee cup for his birthday a few years ago. So I had to get you that one.
Hell yeah.
What a gift.
Shirt. This shirt is from the inaugural season, actually from Vegas. I reached out to John Taffer and he sent it over.
I thought you were fucking serious.
No, it is actually. My parents actually were in Vegas at the time so they actually, I told them to get it from T-Mobile. They actually got it for me. Fun fact.
Taffer just gave it to them.
Yeah, Taffer sent it over to me. Shades, but we can't skip over this because I know we don't want to talk about the Montreal series, but we got to talk about that hit.
Right.
What did you think? Suspendable or what? I mean, I'll let you guys. Let's debate it for a second because you can't just browse over because it has a huge impact on that series.
Well, first off, he probably should have gotten suspended, which he did. 4 games I thought was a little much, but at the same time, it's just like the guy got stretchered off the ice, so at that point you knew a suspension was coming. It was just a matter of how many games. I would have put, I don't know, 1, maybe 2 max. But the thing that hurt Scheifele, he did not make a play on the puck. If he actually tries to make a play on the puck, there's probably no suspension, no terrible hit involved, no Evans being stretchered off the ice. Another thing though, like back in the day, that hit was just, it would have been, that was pretty much part of the game. But like since post lockout, and especially the last couple of years when they've roll my eyes as I say this, they've clamped down on headshots. It just.
But also, that wasn't even a headshot either, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said like it's fucking like pains me to say this, but it's just like the guy got stretchered off the ice. Scheifele didn't make a play on the puck. It was an unnecessary hit. Like, do I think it was clean for the most part? But I would be saying it was 100% clean if the guy didn't get stretchered off the ice. So
yeah, it's not a big deal if he doesn't get stretchered. If he just gets hit, it's completely fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Woj, I'll let you give your opinion first.
Go for it.
one, I know people said, oh, not necessary, but he skated all the way back to make the hit. He backchecked on a play because the whistle's not over yet. The play is not done. You keep going until you finish. You don't go around the net in the NHL with your fucking head down. You go do it in men's league, you get lit up. So you don't go around the net with your head down, especially when you know two people are coming after you inside the zone. I mean, give him a 1-game suspension to shut people the fuck up because they'll just continue to complain about it. But other than that, I thought it was completely fine.
I actually have a follow-up question. Do you guys think that the 4-game suspension is still part of the NHL Department of Player Safety overcompensating for not suspending Wilson a while back with the thing that happened with the Rangers?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with it.
No shades, not in this instance. I would say the Reeves one is, but I don't think this one. I think it's unrelated.
All right, I just had to bring up the question.
I think what happened to Reeves and like his suspension, I think that's in direct correlation with the Wilson one for sure. I mean, it's kind of a similar type of play in a way, and actually, it's even worse because I would say it's even worse that Reeves got suspended just because his teammate got absolutely annihilated earlier in the game by that same guy. Not that that was right what he did, but like still.
I'm not sure. No, finish what you're saying. Sorry.
I was just saying, like, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a high hit that Graves have had on Janmark, and he hasn't returned yet in the series. So, I mean, I get Reeves there. It's a little less like, I don't know, but I do think those are correlated.
Did you guys see the video that I forget exactly where I saw it? It was probably on YouTube. I think it may have been by the Department of Player Safety where they explained the Scheifele hit, why it was charging, and why he got suspended. Did you guys see that video?
I did not see that, Shades.
Anyway, so basically, like, without a doubt, this is the best the Department of Player Safety has ever, like, to the extent that they've ever gone through to explain a situation and why the guy got suspended, which I hope that they do more of this in the future just to, just so they explain themselves better. Because, guys are not getting suspended when they should. Guys are getting suspended when they shouldn't. So in that aspect, they did a good job explaining why. But at the same time, like, over the course of the video, they explained why it was charging. But at the same time, it's just like Scheifele stopped striding. He stopped skating a good 20, 30 feet before he made contact with Evans. So in that aspect, it's not charging. It's just like, how the hell is he supposed to know that Evans was going to go around the net? For all he knew, Evans could have like stopped, backtracked, and put it in on his forehand side, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So how the hell is?
Yeah, Shades. I just wanted to bring up. Yeah, it's an interesting like thing about the video. I didn't see it, but the thing that gets tricky with this stuff is like, all right, they might as well make it a rule at this point that like if the player's like unprotected, you can't hit him. Because you can have a completely clean hit on a guy at center ice with his head down. And like clean hits can sometimes lead to injuries. So if you're going to suspend for every single hit that has an injury on it, like you might as well just eliminate hitting from the game because it doesn't like, it's just a slippery slope. Like I agree with Woj in the fact that like, dude, if he doesn't come down around the net with his head down, like we're not even talking about this. Like he sees the hit coming and then that's it. I mean, granted, he probably knew in his head that like, I'm going to fucking bury this game right now and I'll get annihilated for it. And I'm okay with that because I want to end this game. Yeah. Like I genuinely believe that's what he thought. Like that he probably thought in his head that he could get that wraparound before Scheifele could get back. That's why he didn't even have his head up. He was just so determined to score on that play. I mean, hey, at least he scored, right?
Yeah, if he didn't score, this would be a whole
rough.
bigger issue. But go right ahead, Butch.
But also, then again, if he doesn't score, then he makes the hit, and it's all right. Well, he did the right play. People also said like he didn't make a play on the puck first. When you're like skating back, and like you probably, I mean, he's kind of in a position to poke it away. I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm gonna poke it. I'm gonna like fucking light him up because
same.
Showing you could play like that. The men's league, I'll fucking poke at it. I'm not gonna go hit somebody. But
I just think
when you're in the NHL and you could hit whenever, that's what your main go-to thing is. That's what you're taught.
I think that's what this one came down to. Like, even though Scheifele's, like he's gliding at that point, but like,
yeah,
I'm not saying that this is a reason why he got suspended, but I think that's what makes it look more violent is the fact that like, he's back checking. So like, even though he's gliding, it's like, yeah, but he just did full stride down the ice. So he's still coming pretty fast, like,
oh yeah,
and you can tell that by the amount of torque of the hit. But yeah, I don't know. It gets real tricky. Like, I just, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Yeah. I also just wanted to add one last point. Sorry to cut you off, Shades.
Oh, good.
So if Montreal ends up sweeping them this series, which it's looking like it's headed down that path, that means that Scheifele would have to serve one more game next season.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement that like wouldn't that just be unnecessary? Like, I feel like they should just let the suspension die in the playoffs. Like, I think it's a little ridiculous that like it's going to carry over next season in this circumstance. Like, if it was, it's a type of suspension, like kind of like a Rafi Torres one in the past where he's gone like, didn't he get like 20 something games?
Yeah. I think
that's a whole other thing. Like but Scheifele's, like a first time offender for this type of thing. I don't know. Like, I don't think it should carry over into next season. It just seems insane.
Guy doesn't fucking curse. Like, Scheifele refuses to curse. He's like a nice guy.
All right, I got a question for you then, Brendan. Do you think they should start implementing rules like solely based on suspensions in the playoffs where they basically state a guy is suspended for the remainder of a series instead of X number of games? This is fully an opinion question.
I mean, I just think that it really it should depend on the circumstance. Like, in this case, I think they gave him too many games in the first place. So I think 2 would have been fine. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. But I think that like if somebody tries to like behead somebody with the stick and he gets like 10 games for it, like based off of those actions, like, yeah, that suspension should carry over. But I don't know. Sometimes I think they're starting to get a little out of control now with the amount of games that they're giving for the suspensions. Like in a playoff series, like, for example, like the Kadri hit, like, yeah, I think that one should carry over to next season if it does, just solely based off the fact that this is like the 6th time he's done that now and it's also just so happens to be in the playoffs every single time that like to teach him a lesson, it should carry over to the next season.
Yeah. And isn't this the 3rd straight year that Kadri's gotten suspended in the playoffs?
Exactly.
Also, we just got an appearance by Woj's dog for anybody who's watching on video. So,
well, he's been suspended and fined like 8 years in a row.
Oh God.
In the playoffs. Like, it's fucking nuts. Another thing about the Scheifele hit, Jake Evans like didn't even get taken to the hospital. They just brought him back to the hotel room, and he's like, there's a concussion, like a low one probably, or medium grade, and like he's fine now. Probably he'll just deal with the concussion, but that should be another thing of like how. I'd say how bad of the hit, like the effect is after, but you can never really tell. You really can't handle that.
On a more positive note, while talking about that series, even though we spent so much time on it, I did want to bring up though that it's actually kind of an interesting matchup because I think it's got to be the first time for a long time that we've ever seen like an East-West type of matchup in the playoffs in this round, But then another interesting thing is that if Montreal wins this series, then we'll see another East-West matchup because they'd be playing the winner of the Vegas-Colorado, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool.
Once again, go Colorado. But yeah, not gonna lie, I'm very much looking forward to either Tampa or Boston versus the Islanders, but because I just think in general that would be a better series. Let's end on this. Would you guys, like solely from a hockey standpoint, would you rather see Tampa versus Boston or Tampa versus the Islanders?
Boston.
I think I'd honestly rather watch Tampa Islanders just because I think that the Islanders was just shaking his head. Well, one, I think that there's a certain like revenge aspect that they want to get against Tampa. But I think this time around it'd be a better matchup for them. I just think they added a little more depth in the lineup, even though they don't have Wallstrom right now because he's hurt. But like Palmieri and everybody's playing good. I just think that like they can take what Florida was doing to Tampa and like they were throwing a lot of big hits on them. I think they could slow them down. So I think it would be interesting. I just don't know, like Boston, and I don't know about them. Like if they
surprised me so far this
if they don't beat the Islanders, like they're not good enough. They would not have been good enough to beat Tampa. That's how I look at it. Like,
here's my counterpoint to that. Look what happened with Dallas between last year and this year. Like, they had no business beating Colorado, and they had no business. Who the hell did they face after Colorado? I don't even remember at this point, but they had no business winning either of those two series. And then
Vegas, they beat, right?
They did beat both of them?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Like I said, my memory's fried, but they had no business beating either of those teams. And then the thing that got them to the final, which was mainly their goaltending, their quality of play just did not stick around for the final. And well, I mean, look what happened. They didn't make the playoffs this year, but yeah. Anyway, we will be back soon because
Shades, I gotta add one cool story here. I didn't even tell you guys this.
Make it quick. We got 2 minutes.
So at work, I'm talking with this guy. He's leaving, right? And he's got a Rangers, like a 90s Rangers hat on. So as he's leaving, I'm like, oh, that's a sick hat. I'm like, I'm a huge Rangers fan. So he's like, oh yeah, I used to have season tickets, but like back in the day, this and that. I used to go to a bunch of games. So he heads out for the day, right? Then the next day he comes back in. He's like, oh yeah, we were talking about the Rangers, so I got this for you. And he passed me this. It was like a Mark Messier retirement night.
Oh, cool.
Puck from 2006.
That's
and
cool.
It has like his accomplishments on the back. I was like, oh, that was really nice.
That's cool.
I was like, that was
a guy.
I didn't even tell you guys about that. I totally forgot.
I hope everybody's watching on video so they just saw how awesome that puck was. But unfortunately, we have to end episode 14 of Pucks and Brews here. Follow us on all of our socials listed in the description below. We will be back very soon with semifinals predictions. I refuse to call them conference finals this year because of how fucked up everything is. But we will be back soon. I've been your host, Mark Messier. As always, Brandon Wojno, up on the top left if you're watching video, who just gave me the finger for no fucking reason.
You always think it's you. It's that Brendan. No.
And Brendan down on the bottom.
Neither of you.
Hope you enjoyed a brew or favorite drink of choice, whatever you did. And see you next time.